Now, so I've gone to WordPress.com again, and I'm going to go up here to login. And at this point, you should have a login for WordPress. I'm going to go ahead and log in, and I'm using my Harper account to do this. What we're going to work on is creating a page. Now, you're going to see that there are two options here primarily for creating what are our content specific pages. One is called a post and one is called a page. Now, when you look at a website like this and you see Hello World at the top, this is kind of a generic placeholder that they create for you as an example post. This is called a post, and a post on a blog website, a website that's generated with the ability to have what's called a blog, is usually geared toward news. Those posts are news items, and they're chronologically organized by whatever criteria you want, but by default they're chronologically organized by date. And you'll notice it said posted on January 15th, and then it'll leave comment or edit. This is a post. I don't mind if you want to activate and utilize the blog and post functions of your WordPress, but I'm less interested in you using that as a function. I'm more interested in you creating what are called static pages. So I want you to be right now creating pages only. That's all I'm expecting. And those pages are going to act as portfolio items. Now, there are ways of generating and creating portfolio items within some of the themes, but they don't all universally do that, and I think that's a bit more advanced. So I'm going to hold off on addressing portfolios, and I'm going to go with the generic creation of static pages as our portfolios for our assignments in this course. You can go ahead and venture and explore that if you'd like, but I'm not going to cover that. So I'm going to go to add new or all pages. Now I'm going to select all pages first. I want you to first create an additional or new page. You have two ways of doing that. You could say add new page here, or you could come back over to this accordion and say add new page here. I'm going to add a new page, and it gives me some options on how I'd like that to look. These are templates that are built with the theme that we have active in mind. Those are ways that you can create and edit templated content. So it already comes with images, or it comes with a selection of items already. I'm going to go ahead and say gallery here, and that'll isolate gallery items. So these are already generated and templated pages, but I'm gonna, for the sake of learning this from the ground up, I'm gonna create a blank page. And you're gonna land on something that looks like this, right? And you have what are called blocks in WordPress, but it's basically just unique content that you can create within a page. And then over here you have some additional sidebar items that you can customize with. So for instance, a template here, you can create a portfolio page template from this, and let's see what it does. If it actually doesn't generate anything generic for us. I think it just changes the dimensions of that page. You can play around with that if you'd like and see what the difference is before and after. But I'm going to create just a generic one. So I'm going to say we're working with long and short assignments. So let's say I call this long one. Okay, that's going to be our first assignment. That's first long assignment. Now, when I select this right here, you'll notice that there's a plus icon here that says add a block. This is also repeated or redundant up here, so you have two ways of getting to the same thing. If I select that icon, I'm going to get a generic set of frequently used items right? Or block content that you can create. For us, we're going to be creating a lot of galleries, so this one is utilized or highlighted. If you went to browse all, it's going to open up that other menu, right? The redundant menu, and give you a lot more things that you can create with. For us, we're going to be creating media, right? Most often we're going to be placing images onto these pages, images that we've generated in the course through our photography. So I'm gonna select this first one here called gallery, and it's gonna ask me to select images or upload. Okay, so one way of uploading is you can select upload, and it will open up a menu for selecting images on your computer wherever you store your images. The other way is to drag and drop images from your desktop or whatever file or folder you have images that you want to place into this box, this gallery box, and it will actively, just like on some websites, it'll recognize that you're trying to upload images. You can also select images here from different sources. So if you have Google Photos, you could connect Google Photos there. But here is what is called your media library. And your media library is going to be the images that are uploaded to WordPress and are hosted, right, on WordPress or on your WordPress account. You get a limited amount of free storage with your free account. You can see up here it says 3 gigabytes of free storage, so you want to be conscious of this as a source for storing media. But I'm going to go ahead, it says browse free images, but it doesn't. Let me see if there's any. I don't want to do that, so I'm going to back out of this. I'm going to cancel, and I'm going to upload images. And I'm just going to upload some generic images I have of things that I've created for the course. So I'm going to select multiple images. Okay, I'm going to upload. So when I upload it here, I want to show you this creates a gallery, right? A gallery of images that if I go ahead and publish or preview, if I select preview, I can preview it in a new tab, and when I go here, it'll show me what that page looks like. Right, so long one here, if I select these images now, they get larger, right? Pretty cool, huh? So if I select out of there, this is what it would look like. For me, this is the URL that it's generated here. And that's the URL that you would copy and paste and submit for the assignment. Now I'm going to go back here to editing this though, and I want to show you some options that you have. Right here you can change the format of this gallery, so maybe I want it to be a slideshow instead. I want it to look like something that you can scroll through. You can change that to columns, to images that are stacked. So it would look like a stack of images. Okay, and you can also change the type of gallery. So if I wanted to do a tiled gallery, but I want it to be circles, right? It's doing that single image now. So I want to, let's retreat out of this. So let's see how far it'll let me retreat. It's not going to, so I'm going to, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to edit the gallery. I'm going to select all of these again. So I'm in here and I'm going to select all of these. And I'm going to insert that gallery. And this now is a single gallery again. Whereas before it's split into separate. So I can delete these. I can just literally select delete on my keyboard, or I can replace or remove image, right? I can remove. You can do those individually. It's most easy to just hit the delete key. So right now I have this back as a gallery of images that are tiled, and I can change, let's see, circles. They could be circles like this. I can change over here how many columns. So maybe I want them to be individual circles, or I can bring that back to a selection of like thumbnail size. You can see that there's a lot of customizing you can do. Now notice when I hover over these two, I can change their position pretty easily, or I can delete one of those images. I can also start to work on what would be captions for each of these images. So let's get back up to these, and if I went to edit mode right here, you can edit these individually. They're already selected, so if I say insert here, and I believe align center, maybe tile isn't going to give me that as easily. So let me go back to gallery. If I select here, you can create a link out of that. You can replace, let me see. Oh, there we go, alt text. So if I'm over here, I can select alternate text, so when you're hovered over, but you can see here, it's a little hard to see on some of the images. I'll zoom in here. If you add caption here, you could say, Gus, that's the name of my son, rocks, like that. Okay, and what that will do is it will create a hovering text of as a caption for that image. See that? But when I zoom in here, you can see it's down here. It says Gus Rocks. Okay, pretty great. Now, that's a really generic overview of how to create a gallery for our assignments. Now I want to show you one key thing you need to do, though, is you need to publish this. So if you select publish up in this corner and activate, make sure that it's public, okay, right here it's going to give you an option to view the page, add a new page, or copy. I want you to copy this page address. I'm going to show you can copy it here, and if I open up a new tab and paste, you can see it says charlieroderickphotography.wordpress.com/long-1. And so it assumed that the slug, they call it, for that page that I want is the title of that page. And in order to make it a sequence, they put a dash there because there's a space. Alright? That's one thing you can do, but you can also customize that. You can customize under permalink. You can change that slug to something you want. But for our purposes, long one, the assignment page title is great. That's really clear. Okay, so if I go back here, though, this is the page that was created that I posted. Let me see if that's correct. There we go. So if I activate that, so I copy and pasted, this is the URL now for that page. If I copy it here, that's another place that you can copy that URL. This is publicly viewable on the web. This is where I want to pause for a second and get us into Google Classroom and show you how to turn in this work.